Hi, it's me again. I'm glad that you came back if you're watching this, my second vlog entry. Basically what I wanted to do here is address a lot of the questions people have asked me about my book, Interrupted. I've had a lot of people say, what is it about? Where did you get the inspiration for it? How did you write it when you were 14 years old? Stuff like that. So that's really what I just want to talk about today. My book, Interrupted, is it's a story about a girl, Allie Everly, who's growing up in the 1940s, and her mom is very sick, and her mom dies of a brain tumor when Allie is still, a teenager. She's still very young. And Allie has to move across the country and live with an adopted mother. And the story is really just a story about her bitterness and her anger towards her family and towards God. And she doesn't want to accept anything. She doesn't want to accept her mother's death or come to terms with her grief. And it's just basically a story about God melting the heart of stone and God answering her questions about confusion and anger and bitterness, and just giving her a new peace and a new love in her heart. And a lot of people say, where did you get this idea for a story like that? That nothing like that's ever happened to you. And the answer is something like that sort of happened to me a couple years ago. I obviously never went through anything as traumatic as Allie did, but I did have an uncle that passed away several years ago when I was probably 11 or 12. I had an uncle who died of a brain tumor, and I had two cousins, his daughters, that he left behind. One's my age and one's a year or two younger than me. And I remember watching the impact that his death had upon them and upon their lives, being so young and so impressionable and having something so traumatic happen to you. And even though it didn't happen to me personally, I remember dealing with a lot of the same things that Allie deals with in my book. Feelings of confusion and bitterness and anger, and not understanding why this type of thing happens and not wanting to accept it. But as God worked through my own life and helped me with that, I started coming up with this idea for, the book about a character that sort of goes through the same thing. She's very autobiographical in a way of my own feelings and my own emotions. And I just knew I just had to get it out on paper. I wrote most of the book when I was 14. And after the time I finished, I'd worked so long on this story, and I had a lot of people say, you should try to do something with it. The few friends that I told about it, you should try to get it published or something small like that, maybe self-publishing. And I basically went to the library and checked out a book on Christian literary agents, Googled a list, sent it to like 15 different people, and only one person even emailed me back. And he ended up signing me to be my agent. And I worked with him for a little while. We did a few revisions and stuff. We were very excited about the prospect of possibly getting published. But he also warned me, it's really hard to get published. You're only 15 years old. This is a YA fiction book. There's not really anyone who's looking for it right now, but we'll give it a shot and leave it up to God and see what happens. And within a couple weeks, I came home one night and I had a call on my answering machine from my agent saying, Zondervan's interested in publishing your book. So basically after that, it all just happened so fast. I didn't know what was going on. I was so excited and so nervous. And I told everyone that I knew, had everyone in the church and in my community praying for me, praying for God's will for this book. And it's due to come out in February 2012. Like I said, it's called Interrupted, A Life Beyond Words. And I just can't explain how excited I am about all this that's happening, to be 15 years old. And it's a very life-changing thing for me. It's put a lot of things into perspective about my future and about the possibility of encouraging others and helping others, understand God in a better way. And that's just what I hope to do with the book. That's what I hope it'll do in your life. And I encourage you to follow my vlog. I'll be doing these entries fairly frequently about how things are going, updates, the writing process, stuff like that. And I also have a blog if you want to check it out. It's www.rachelcoker.wordpress.com. And I'll be updating things on there too. So I hope to see you back soon. And thank you so much for encouraging me and for following me along on this journey.